How does a real man polish his shoes or boots? I'll tell you right after this. Hey everybody, I am Taylor from Beard vs. Geek, where I show you it is okay to be a man and a geek at the same time. Today I'm going to tell you and show you how to polish your shoes or boots. So that way they look from this into that. All of this can be done in a couple of minutes and with a few simple things. Now, in order to polish your shoes, you're going to need more than just your shoes and polish. I would recommend picking up one of these kits. They cost about $11 US, and it has most everything you need. It has a brush, 2 different kinds of polish, both black and brown, a few applicators, and a finishing cloth. I would also recommend that you get an additional brush, and since we're polishing our shoes like a man, I would also recommend a lighter. Because after all, nothing is more manly than fire. Now go ahead and grab your shoes, get your kit, sit down, and we'll polish them together. Now there are 2 reasons why we polish our shoes. The first one is that the shoe will actually last longer if you keep it polished. The second reason is that it looks a lot more professional and you look a lot classy if you have polished shoes as opposed to these guys, which is all scuffed up. Now, in this kit of yours, let's open this up. We have a polishing cloth. Now, this is for refining the shoes, and as you can tell, I've used this cloth a lot. We have 2 applicators. I like to keep one brown and the other one black. We have 2 polishes, black and brown. Make sure that when you pick the color of your polish, that it actually matches the shoe. If you have a cordovan shoe and you buy brown shoe polish, it's really going to mess up how the shoe looks, unless you want it to be a darker color, in which case go ahead and get that brown. Then it's going to come with one of these brushes. Now this is a shine brush, but also it is good for cleaning. That is why I would recommend buying a second one of these and have one for polishing and the other for cleaning. That way you do not get any flakes of dirt in your polishing brush, so when you go ahead and shine it up, you don't have little pieces of dirt stuck in the polish, because that doesn't look very good. First thing we need to do is actually clean off the shoe itself. That way we are actually polishing the leather and not the dirt particles that are on top of the leather. So that's where the second brush comes in handy. So with that, do all of the leather parts, especially the toe, all along the edges where all the dirt is, the heel of it. Okay, if you do have shoes that have laces, take off the laces and make that tongue come out. Okay, the laces just get in the way, and you don't want to polish the laces because then you'll get polish on your fingers when you tie your shoes later on this week. When you go to work or go to that wedding, or I don't know, if your drill sergeant's yelling at you. Okay. Alright, now that you have your shoe fairly cleaned off, next is when you actually apply the polish. Now this is a cordovan shoe, but I do want to darken this on purpose, so I did get a brown polish. Now here's where that lighter comes in handy. You see, this is just a brick of polish, but if you can see on the residue there, those shiny bits, that is from where I have previously melted it. Now, by melting this puck and by putting on melted shoe polish, you do 2 things. One, you put on more polish than you would if you were to just use this applicator and just get it on the little sponge. It liquefies, and so it really gets into the pores of that sponge. So you put on more, which really helps to make a cleaner shine and really get out some of the dents that are in there. It fills those up with polish. Okay. Now, there are a couple ways that you can do this. If you have a good lighter, you can just go ahead and light the puck on fire. Okay, this is flammable, and then you just use the lid to put out the fire. Okay, now you do need to make sure that you are a responsible person when you do this. Okay, don't go burning down your house or apartment. All right. The second way, and the safer way, if you have a crappy lighter like this one, is run it underneath the can back and forth until that melted polish is going to start bubbling up to the surface. Yeah, right there. Melted polish. That's what we want. Okay, so now that we have some melted there, we can go ahead and apply that to our sponge. So right there, without a lot of effort, we got a boatload of wax right there. Or not wax, polish. Now, what I like to do, go ahead and put a hand in the shoe and go ahead and stretch it out to how it would be when it just came out of the box. So the leather here, it's going to open up, which will show you some lighter spots. Now, how you want to apply this is by rotating it ever so slightly when you apply it. Okay, see all that stuff getting on there? Oh yeah. Now, by doing this action, you are forcing that polish into the cracks of the leather. Okay? If you were just to go along the top of it, then it would just go along the top of the leather. It wouldn't really fill in those cracks and those crevices. Alrighty, now that we have applied polish to all of the leather parts of the shoe, now it is time to actually shine that part. And for that, you're going to need your other brush. Now what you want to do is you want to take it in your hand thusly. Okay? And just brush very lightly back and forth along all parts of the leather. Keep in mind, if I were to use a cordovan polish, this would look a lot more natural. Okay, it would blend in better. But since I am intentionally trying to darken these shoes, I have used brown polish. Now, some people like to stop there, but that isn't good enough for men. Okay, so now you come to your finishing cloth. Got my little part here. And we're just going to use that friction to really polish up that shoe. Now with these finishing cloths, a lot of the times that you will see in the movies where the shoe shine boy would have it up like that and polishing do. That is what you would want to do, except I use this with black shoes. So I don't want to use this with my brown ones, or else it would really mess up the look of it. That's why I am folding it up, and I'm only using select parts. Now you want to do this to all your shoe, but you really want to pay attention to the toe and the main part right there that people are going to see. Alright gentlemen, there you go. There's our polished shoe. It may not be perfect, but it is a hell of a lot better than what we had going at the beginning of this. Now remember to polish your shoes rather frequently. In fact, I'm going to do this shoe again so I can darken this to a deeper brown even more. But one go around, if you are not darkening your shoes, goes a long way. Look at that shine. Oh my goodness, that is a lot better. For more videos about how to be a better man and geek, go ahead and subscribe. Great videos like this are coming out every Wednesday and Sunday, where I show you it's okay to be a man and a geek at the same time. You can click these two videos right here for a little bit more manliness and a little bit more geekiness into your life. Or you can go to beardversusgeek.com for some great articles and a podcast about all sorts of different things geeky and manly. Because after all, if the women don't find you manly, they should at least find you geeky. And until next time, don't go shaving on me.